Was that the football pitch incident that originated from the nickname?
Headline Bellator, Cage Warriors.
What a psychopath! Do not let me in anywhere near a ring with him, man. Like,
the buzz is the fight for me. If that comes on when we're sparring and that comes on, people don't want to go in, man.
I'm Sean McDonald, he's Chris Bungard, and we're speaking Off the Record, brought to you by Piranha.
Mate, congrats on the gym opening.
Thanks very much.
It smells, it's got that new house smell.
A lot of people say that. The fresh, I think it's just like the fresh mats and
Aye.
the paint. Everything's basically new, the carpets and stuff like that. We built it from scratch basically. It was just like rubble. Had to knock in doors to make entrance doors, build showers, plumb showers, sinks, changing rooms, the full lot. Obviously the mats are new, the bags, pads. So I was like, if I'm going to do it, we're going to do it right. So like, stuff like this lasts forever, not I mean?
Talk me through what we've got in here then, because to like the untrained eye, I'm kind of going, this is where people hit bags, but it's obviously a lot more to that. Like, what kind of work will you be doing in here?
So obviously it's a mixed martial arts gym, so full timetable, you've got wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts on its own as a sport. You've got boxing, you've got Muay Thai, basically all the aspects of mixed martial arts. So obviously I'm an MMA fighter, so you kind of need to be well-rounded in all aspects of that to proper compete at a high level. Maybe 20 years ago, you could get away with being good at one discipline. You'd have like a striker up against like a grappler, but now these young guys come through 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they're good everywhere, they're vicious on the mat, they're clean strikers, they eat well, they're conditioned at a young age, and the sport's just grew incredibly over the last few years.
I've heard you saying that before about young fighters coming through, and did it used to be that it would be one discipline, but then did the MMA change? Because obviously it's become, we'll talk about that, but it's become this like massive thing now. Has it just been, is that the demand and the expectation you need to be good at everything?
Yeah, 100%. You see, I think the young boys just watch UFC on the telly and they're loving it, and obviously it is the fastest growing sport in the world, especially over the last few years, but like, obviously I've opened my own gym now, but the amount of young boys that come in here and they don't miss a class, it's mental. Like yesterday they done 2 in the morning, some of them, and they done the 3 classes at night. That's like 5 hours training, and I'm like, that's showing me up. I'm a professional, you know what I mean? And they're loving it, and then they're back the next day. Their parents are here, like, my son's loving it. He's keeping them off the street, so I've gone down maybe a different path that I once went down as well. So it's kind of satisfying to see that, and you're just like, we're doing something good here.
You have got a lot of experience in that. Obviously that potentially going down the wrong path.
Yep.
I'm kind of darting about in questions and stuff here, but
Fire on.
talk about origins with the bad guy.
Aye.
Was that the football pitch incident that originated from the nickname?
That was, somebody gave me the name on like a forum when the football isn't happening. I got an altercation on the pitch, and obviously everybody knows that a young boy, and well, roughly the same age, but he was smaller than me, and he swallowed his tongue, took a seizure. So it was quite a dark day for me. That probably the turning point of like me kind of fighting outside the gym and the cage, really, because I was younger, played amateur football, fights happened all the time.
Because that is fair to say, it happens in football.
Especially amateur football. Saturday and Sunday amateur football it's just a war zone, man.
But then not everybody's packing a punch like you, so
exactly. And I'll be honest, it wasn't a hard shot, and I do regret it to this day. But back in the day, like, I was always in fights in school, and I like to go out and I like to party and stuff like that. And it wasn't until really that, and I kind of went full time with MMA as a professional, that I started to take it more serious, and I just kind of grew up a bit and just got more mature. I'm still daft, don't get me wrong, I still like a laugh, and
it's like it's concentrated in
still
channel.
A bit immature in that, but there's ways that I put it across now, and I can still be an idiot sometimes online, with like, I don't know, slagging people and that, but like deep down I know I'm a good human, and I can help young boys, I help my teammates, I know I'm a good person, but back in the day it was a bit different, but that day did definitely, it matured me that day, and it was a dark day, to be fair. It was a dark day.
Would this have been about 2010? Or was it later than that?
No, it was about it was a good. I was an amateur fighter at the time, so
Right.
so I've been a professional about 12, 13 years. So it was a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, I was young as well.
Well, you kind of learn through things you chat. Is that one of the inspirations and motivations for opening the gym and being that for other people? Because maybe you wouldn't have had that role model or
Yeah,
example.
no, definitely. My plan was always to get to 50 MMA fights and then open my own gym. I'm in 44 now, so I'm 36, but not mean, so I've got 2 years left to fight, and hopefully if my body's all right. And then I was going to open my own gym. Certain circumstances in my last gym just kind of sped up the process a bit. We all left the gym there, and this gym's been open for 2 weeks now, so it is it's different. My schedule's different now. I'm coaching all the time, I'm in the gym all the time, where I'm not just coming in to do my own sessions and leaving and resting, so it is a bit much in the body, and I'm in here late teaching and mopping the mats and cleaning the place, so it's just getting used to a different schedule. But trust me, I like being busy. My mind needs to be busy. I need to be one thing to the other. I've got a daughter now as well, so it's like everybody's keeping me on my toes, and I'd rather that, else I'd just be sitting in the house, or I'd be out maybe drowning my sorrows after the weekend and stuff like that. So
You and me both. I was going to mention your daughter. How does that change the way you see the world? I don't have kids, but you always hear people talking about it. It changes you. Like, I take it she becomes like your main motivation for everything.
Oh, 100%. Like, she's in here every day. She's only 3, but like you would think she was 6 or 7. Like, she's switched on. She understands stuff. She'll come in. She'll hit a bag. She'll run about. She'll blow the whistle and tell you to like do an exercise. Sprawl. Sprawl's like a wrestling technique where you kind of your hips hit the mat, and she'll blow the whistle like sprawl. So she's already getting this training vibe. I don't want to teach her too much stuff, because I don't want her going into nursery and throwing kids about when she doesn't need to do that. You know what I mean? That's maybe when she's older I will teach her jiu-jitsu, and I'm a black belt myself in jiu-jitsu, so it'll be good. I'll be able to grade my daughter and like teach her. She'll be in here once a week at least to learn whether she likes it or not, just for self-defence, and you never know what's out there in the world, you know what I mean? She doesn't need to train or be a fighter or compete, but I do want her to know how to defend herself in certain situations.
You've mentioned before in the past you've seen people come into the gym and they've got that bully vibe about them, and it very quickly gets slapped out and turned around, and you find the better and more accomplished a fighter, the less of a bully there.
Aye.
I'm not saying you'd ever been a bully as such, but at what point in your journey, like when you started, do you start to learn to temper it, and do you know what I mean by that, and not to kind of take liberties with anybody?
That's a great question. So I would even say back in the day I was more a verbal bully than I was a physical bully, because I used to always get into fights with the guys that thought they were hard. I would fight with the bullies, but then in maybe school I'd maybe be a verbal bully to people in classroom, so I always did regret that. I remember I bumped into somebody that I did kind of slag a lot out in the street one night, and I just stopped him. And I don't know if I was maybe mad for it or whatever, but I was like, I just want to apologise. I'll be one of the ones, like, because it always stuck in the back of my head. But as it comes to the gym, see if I can get them at a younger age, because I see some of them in here now that are quite better than others, but they're the same age, and you could tell, I don't know, that they've got it in them to like maybe just beat them up, even though they're a bit more just technically better than the guys. And they're pals as well, so you kind of need to grab them early, like, this is what we do here. We try and help our teammates here.
Only use required force.
Aye, you don't. I always say, you start using this outside, you won't be back in here, stuff like that. Or if I see them fucking about, if I can swear,
Absolutely.
I discipline them, like press ups, sit ups, like go and chill, go and sit down, like if they're not listening. But you need to catch them. Like, there's definitely some in here at 14 have got real potential, and I'm like, I can do some good things with these guys here if they trust me and stick with it and show up and equip themselves the correct way and stick with it. It's a hard one, because once you get 14, 15, 16, you start discovering other things in life, like girls and, I don't know, gigs and drinks and whatever, football and stuff like that. So you kind of need to catch them in that wee sweet spot and like show them what you could do good things here.
What does it take to go that far? Because we hear it with football all the time. You see all the time people have got like terrific technical ability. They apply themselves, but they maybe just don't get to that point? I mean, is there a certain thing you could define, or is it just all encompassing commitment to every aspect?
Another solid question there. I would say, like, discipline. Discipline's a big one. People around you. You need people around you that want the best for you, and not just. And there's people that want you to do well, but they're still in a selfish way. As long as it helps them or makes them look good. So you need good judgment to who's in your corner, who you can trust, and you need to be all in. Like a Matthew McConaughey quote kind of is like, don't half-ass it. And like, you can't half-ass on, especially if you want to get to the pinnacle level. I'm not saying I got to the pinnacle level, but I fought for Scottish, British and world titles, headlined Bellator, Cage Warriors. I've done some big stuff in MMA, first Scottish guys to do most of the things. So that's still the highest level. I didn't get to the UFC, which is the pinnacle, it's like Premiership obviously, but you need to be all in. And there was times that I wasn't all in, and it kind of showed in certain fights, but that's something that I learned off, like a life lesson for me. So if it's anything I can pass on, it's like, don't do what I do, and kind of do what I say, and maybe it'll push you further, you know what I mean? Because you need to be all in, and you need to be addicted.
So see, you look at your timeline, 2010, you first go into the gym, and it's like the grappling wrestling class. Do you end up then going to the Hit Squad in Coatbridge?
Yes.
So that's like 2010. 9 years later, there's a BBC documentary. Was it The Bad Guy?
Yep.
It was brilliant, right? I remember loving it at the time, and there was this, all of a sudden, this massive buzz about you. You were everywhere. Maybe it sort of coincided with MMA and UFC and that type of thing becoming like very mainstream.
Yep.
Chart that 9 years for me, and it's so hard to do right in about a couple of minutes. But how do you go from just walking in a gym to all of a sudden? Is it your personality, your character, the fact that there's a bit of devilment in you?
I think, all honesty, I think people can see a wee bit of the sale in me, because I never pretend to be somebody I'm no fake. I always remember where I'm from. I'm from Hollytown, like a tight-knit community where people trust each other and that, and I just feel like I come across like everybody else.
It's relatability, isn't it?
Aye, and like I'm quite cheeky, and some of my partner's funny sometimes, and then people can laugh, and I'm like, like this guy, or like, oh, he's a Celtic fan, I got a lot of Celtic fans like me, and then it's like the Rangers fans, they want to see me get beat up, so they came tune in anyways. But aye, that 9 year was crazy. The funny thing is, the first gym I ever started at was in Hollytown. It was just in the sports centre. It was like a guy showing me techniques. So that guy comes here now. My first ever coach comes here now with his son. So I now coach his son Ross, and I'm like, that's kind of like a full circle shit. You know what I mean? It's like.
So you mentioned like your partner on Twitter and stuff. But it's authenticity, and people buy into authenticity. It's like Simon Jordan's a good example in TalkSport.
Yep.
He really has everybody agreeing with him, but everybody likes him, respects him, because he says what he means and he means what he says.
Yeah.
And it's that, I think, in the era of sort of social media, there's the expectation that if you're in the public eye in any way, you have to be beyond reproach, you need to be perfect, you can never have a laugh, you can never show personality. And I think when somebody breaks free for that, everybody's like, oh, I like this guy, or I like to hate him. So I think it's one of the two.
So when I see these football players get interviewed after a game, I'm just thinking, if I played for Celtic or any team, we've just won the cup, I've just scored a final, it wouldn't be like, oh, it was all about getting the 3 points. I'd be cutting promos on, I'd be jumping in the crowd, I'd be probably
100%.
swearing.
I know.
And I know they're media trained, I get that, but it wouldn't bother me, because I'm just got to say what I say.
Perfect example. That Dujon Sterling, the Rangers player, he put an Instagram post up.
Was that real? I thought that was a
real.
Photoshop number.
I think it was real, and he said,
That's even funnier.
Great to get 3 points of that shithole. What I found funny was he apostrophised, or he put the asterisk for hole, but he kept the word shit, and I was like, you've got that the wrong way around. But I looked at it, and people were going mental, and I was like, okay, personally I might not enjoy that, and I was like, I don't mind it. I was like, I respect it, because it's a bit of personality, and it's authenticity, and it's real. Jack Grealish, a perfect example, is he not? Like he just is who he is. He doesn't bother about his media training and that type of thing.
And he was getting a bit of a stick because he was in like the social club playing bingo, whatever. I'm like,
so
that's what I would love to do, that shit.
I know, and it's like, do you prefer that he's away spending 50 grand in Mayfair?
Aye.
The guy can't win. He's just being himself. Let's take a wee walk through the gym now.
Aye, of course.
So like you're the tour guide, you're the expert.
So obviously this is the bag area. Monday morning, 10 AM, fighters come in, we do rounds on the ropes, we do rounds shadow boxing, then we all pick a bag. If it's a bit busy, we'll bring bags on the floor so they can like ground and pound like the dummies and that. Different bags are different things, so obviously these are more like body shots and knees. These you can bring in some kicks, uppercuts, big shots, long banana bags. They're more for like your low kicks, body kicks, knees, maybe clinch knees. So you get a bit more varying that. Obviously you've got all the pads as well at Muay Thai for kicks, knees, elbows. We hand focus mitts, basically boxing, and the belly protectors are the round about the back of the bags here. They're just to work on like your body shots and front kicks and that. The quotes are like, so these are like, I'm a movie geek, right? So these are like...
Famously you watch the same film all the time. Green Book.
Wow, I love it.
Billboards and
Three billboards, the guy done his homework.
The Epic Missouri one, I was like, what a psychopath this guy's like, do not let me anywhere near a ring to him, man. Like, is it a film about is it a husband or a kid, a daughter gets killed? The Epic Missouri.
Aye.
And that's your virtual now.
Aye, no, it's the storyline here, it's the acting, Sam Rockwell, it's all great actors in it, and it's
a great film.
Woody Harrelson and stuff like that, so I love Woody. So this is, the action is a juice. So these quotes are like, they're some of my favourite quotes of films, but the mean stuff in my MMA journey. The action is a juice. For me, fighting is about, the juice is the fighting. It's not about being rich, being famous, it's like, the buzz is the fight for me. So I don't date to be famous or have a big fancy house or that. So that's for Heat, where Tom Sizemore was, Robert De Niro asked him, like, you don't need to do the bank job anymore, like you've sorted you've got money, you've got real estate. And Tom Sizemore, who's did now, is just like, well, for me, the action is the juice, and that's why I do it, I'm in. And so that's how I feel about fighting. I know that sounds fucking weird, doesn't it?
No, I get it though, because I was thinking this morning about, so there was chat about Sir Jim Ratcliffe that owns Man United.
Aye.
And somebody's like, the guy's he's a multi-billionaire.
Aye.
Why is he still doing it? Why are you doing this? Why are you getting involved in that? The flack, the heat, and it's like, because it's not about the money, it's about the action. You probably like the book The Alchemist. Have you read it by Paulo Coelho?
I've not read it, but I've heard it.
Yeah, I read it and then moved to Barcelona.
Aye.
In 2013, and I go back to it all the time, and it's about that. It's like, if the reason you get into something, you do something, is purely for the pursuit of money and fame and adulation, you'll never ever stick to it. But if you do it for the love, then all these things will come anyway, or all these sort of byproducts. So it's, that sums it up perfectly.
And Heat also, great film, Al Pacino and that. Obviously, we're doing here, this is like the cage area. You need to have like a cage wall in any MMA gym if you've not got a cage, because fighters need to know how to work against it. This is probably like my bread and butter. Obviously, when we're doing wall work, we'll work against the wall because nobody likes the mesh. But when you're sparring, you need to be used to working, not just working against it. People hold you against it, but it's people you can take down against it, or you can get back to your feet against it. So you need to know this stuff. It's wee small details, you like hitting, getting your hips to the wall, get the underhooks in. It's small details that will win you fights or get you back to your feet.
See, having all these facilities are perfect, but how much do you think you would have benefited from having this? Because this is a far cry for the Alhambra in Dunfermline. Talk us through what happened there. And it wasn't even a cage, was it? Just a ring?
So that's why. So one of my amateur fights, I fought, to be fair, when I was younger, I was fighting guys I shouldn't have been in. I was just that game. Nobody would fight these guys, and I was always like, I'll fight him. And the guy his name was John McCauley, but his level's above me at the time. High level judo player, jiu-jitsu player, nobody wanted to fight him. It was called the Juice, right? He was a steroid freak. His nickname was the Juice. That's funny enough. But he caught me in a submission, but my legs were actually hanging out the ring, so I had no weight in my legs. And I was in a triangle, and then he actually kimura me and he snapped my humerus bone clean off, and I was like hanging out the ring. Usually the ref would stop you and bring you in the centre, but it all happened so quick. And next thing I knew, he was like shouting in my face, and I was like going all slow because it was like you shot. But I also
bit his door in.
But my so how did
know my stuff,
so I got told, one of my teammates brought it up, like, no, I'll go, like, we just remember you were in like a sling and like, you're right into his changing room door, like, trying to fight him. He's just snapped your arm, but you're still let it go, you know what I mean?
This is why I was saying don't let him in here unless I've got a shotgun or something.
So these bits are vital in Jim's cage walls and even matted walls. We were in this morning doing technique against the walls. Just you kind of need to know if somebody's taking you down. You kind of need to know how to get back to your feet, and the best way to get back to your feet is using the wall like a crutch. But obviously, you've got this opponent or your teammate holding on to you and try to take you down. Plus, try to beat you up. Obviously, you've got punches, knees, elbows.
See, this type of question is quite. I'm already cringing before I've said it because it's reminiscent of Jake Humphrey and that high performance podcast and kind of cringe part of it. But see in the moments when you're on the deck, there's a crowd of 20,000 screaming for your blood and you think there's no way of me getting up. See in just day-to-day life, if something happens, you get a flat tyre, whatever it may be, do you compare it and go, it's really not that big a deal? Does it make it easier just to deal with life?
Oh, of course, man, of course. You know what's worse? When the people are wanting you to win and telling you to get up, you can't get fucking up. No, just get up, Chris. You're just like, I'm honestly trying to get up.
Why did I not think of that? Thanks for that shout.
I've shouted to people in the crowd before, like literally had conversations like through the cage, like shut up, like I'm trying to get up.
That's like me, I'm like Darcy Johnson. Why did you not just put it in the top left corner? That's what I would have done.
It's worse with Fitbit, innit? It's like we're all like, well, some people know about Fitbit, but the ones that don't, and they're like, you just don't know what you're fucking talking about, you know what I mean?
I know.
But I like, especially when it comes to like the weight cutting, and I've been through some wars, and like, so once other shit happens outside life, you're just like, it's alright, man, this is a day, I get punched for a living and elbowed and kneed in the head, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's kind of like, you can apply it to all aspects of life, can you? It's like, whether it's proverbial, metaphorical or literal, getting punched in the mouth is good for you every now and again.
Aye, of course,
you need to feel adversity.
Oh, it's a life changer, really.
Aye. You realise also, what's the film? It's like you realise, I can't even quote in Football Factory or Green Street, but it's like,
good films.
once you realise you're not made of glass, and you'll recover and you'll bounce back. And I'm just checking the things right. So we've got Gladiator, What We Do Echoes and Life Echoes in Eternity.
Gladiator, obviously one of the best.
Any Given Sunday.
Is Any Given Sunday? Fucking
on this team we fight for that inch.
Right, so that's Al Pacino.
Aye.
That's the locker room. That I used to listen to that before I would fight the wee YouTube clip. I've got my friend who's an actor was actually in the scene, Andrew Byrinsky.
Yeah, aye.
And he played like Leatherface and Zangief for Street Fighter. So he was in that scene, in that locker room, and he says he was losing his shit that much. Al Pacino told him to calm down. He's like, calm down, Andrew. And I'm like, that's class.
Wow.
Right? So I've stayed with Andrew a few times in LA. But I used to listen to this, like, in my ears. Before I would walk to fight.
I mean, knowing I'm going to fight anybody, but then again, I'd listen to it. If I've got a big interview.
And I want to like kind of implement that to my fight team here, like, for a team, like, we'll claw for that inch, we'll give Evan. I'll give Evan that you'll give me, basically, me being a coach now, so,
Well, it's like,
you know this one?
Progress not, see, just before we go into that, just what you were saying about now that 9 years, it's people would have probably thought, just because they saw a documentary, oh, this guy just overnight, but it's been 9 years of graft and cringe again, but every single wee inch, and they all add up and accumulate.
Of course, man. The cliche, like pure blood, sweat and tears, man, like people don't see, they see maybe I finish a fight in like a minute or 2 minutes, they see that 2 minutes, but they don't see the fight camps, the years, the injuries, the torn knees, broken bones, your teammates cutting you, like your teammates lose, and sometimes your teammates get beaten, you take it more harder because you're in their corner. They don't see all that, they'll see that wee 10-second submission clip and they're like, this guy's alright, or a funny joke or something. But MMA, it's no, if you're kids out there, if you're getting into MMA to be rich, it's not the right move.
There's easier ways to do it.
Oh, you won't be rich. Let's be honest, you won't. There's just like a 1% that really make it, like con and stuff like that. And even then, there's so much hurdles you need to go over, and good records against good guys, good promotions, good managers, good finishes. You need to be entertaining. You need to speak well. Some of the best fighters in the world, like can they draw flies to a shit because they're boring as fuck, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to, you need charisma, Tyson Fury charisma, Conor McGregor charisma. That's when you really make big bucks, you know what I mean?
Being able to excel in the entertainment game as well as the
So I would always say get an education, maybe get a trade, always give yourself that safety net. Like, I've got wee guys come in here and I'm telling them boys they want to be fighters. I'm like, it's like, no.
It's
just
like,
like,
no,
no,
it goes.
no you don't.
On Conor McGregor, you're obviously pals way back.
Yeah.
He's kind of gone down a wee bit of a different path. Do you think it's fair? I'm not going to draw
He
you
was in the White House yesterday doing fucking speeches.
Aye, and he couldn't even get his words out coherently. and like, fucking sort of guys jump. But how do you feel? I'm not going to try and draw you into saying anything controversial, but what are your thoughts? I feel like I'll start it by saying I feel like money either changes or amplifies somebody's existing personality, and I don't think it's great on him.
Like, it's once a man makes so much money and achieves so many things in life, and I do think he's still one of the boys really. He's like, he likes to party, he likes to be, he's got his pub and stuff like that. I think he still likes being a man, mate. Like, he needs to be in the media, he needs to be there. You see him at bare knuckle now, you see him at Bellator, PFLs, but the real fans just kind of want him to fight in the UFC again and go back to the old corner. Now, where that happens, I doubt it, because he's now into politics.
Is the action even in the juice for him anymore? Like,
I don't think so. Like, he'll still always love the fight, but the sport's moving so fast. I don't think he could come back and fight these guys at the top. He maybe need to get matched with somebody similar, like experience and been in the game as long as him. But he's got so many things going on now, court cases, and it's not looking good for him now, and a lot of people are losing respect for him. And now he's over talking to Trump about, like, Ireland's not a safe place, and it's just like, there's things to be said about that as well, you know what I mean?
Aye. If he did come back, which does seem unlikely,
Aye.
I mean, who would you like to see him fight?
That is a tough one, because they're all killers. Especially, I wouldn't like to see him fight for the belt. Guys like Islam and Topuria, obviously coming up through featherweight to lightweight now. I honestly think they're peaking now, and Conor's obviously no one in about 4 or 5 years. And that was like Cowboy Cerrone who was at the end as well. But probably just for the fact that they've been building it for a while, probably Michael Chandler. But I do think that's another tough fight.
You know, my biggest disappointment with McGregor, so I was staying in Barcelona in 2014 and I was pals with all these boys for Dublin. And I had the UFC, do you know the only thing I knew about the UFC is it was in Friends way back, like the early episode. That was the only kind of only knowledge I had of it. And I talked with this guy and watched a couple of fights with them and was like, okay, right, I'm into this. But it was more the stuff that he spoke about, visualisation,
He's a different person.
manifestation. I was like, wow, this is my kind of chat.
I know.
And then you just, and I remember there's a clip where he's like partying, he's like the route to all thing me and all that. And I would like to have a good time, but I was like, you just let everybody down, because you were so inspirational. And he was, and I think in this day and age, to anybody who didn't see that for him, if you say, oh, I was a huge fan, you kind of maybe look down upon you, kind of look upon you disparagingly. And it's like, no, this guy was everything. And then
he was a great speaker, to be fair. Like, every word he said was like to perfection. And you're just like, this guy knows, this guy gets it, he's got something. No, he still speaks that way, but you can see there's something changed there, whether it be drinking or drugs or whatever. There's something changed in him, and he doesn't speak as confidently. As you say, it's like a wee bit of slurring and
hesitation.
I don't know.
And I wonder if that's because, you know, when you speak with conviction, you just speak with fluidity, and it's coming out and it's real and it's a stream of consciousness. And sometimes I'm like, you're reciting a script that's maybe been given to you or somebody's helped you with, and it's like you don't really mean it.
Yeah.
But mental. Anyway, progress, not perfection. Talk us through this.
Aye.
A bit obvious, isn't it?
Aye. Obviously the gym's called progress as well, but my favourite actor, Denzel Washington, probably not my favourite film of his, The Equalizer, but he's got so many good quotes in it, and I feel like that for an MMA journey or a martial arts journey is just perfection, because you would just want to see you getting better. You walk in the door, like, we're no like let's perfect everything. It's just like, let's just get better every week, every day. Your technique, let's try and get it better than it was yesterday. And it's just about improving your skills and kind of just coming on the mats and getting better each day. And that's what we do here basically. And there's a great vibe. Everybody was walking in the door now, and it was like the old gym. It was like we weren't looking forward to training, and then after it we were still like it wasn't that good. So now it's like we're buzzing before and after, and that's what it used to be like. We had an old gym in Whifflet where we first started that squad, and before that moved to the big one in Newhouse. And then Whifflet was similar to this. It had like a small cage wall and matted area and like one bag and that. But that's where we all cut our cloth. Me, Jordan Strong, Paul Craig. That was the guy, man. We moved to the big gym, and it wasn't a gym anymore. It became more about people who lost their passion, more about money, and there was a lot of drama that came with other things. So
energy is everything.
Bringing the vibe back, and now every cunt's buzzing in here, to be fair, and it's like old times. That's what it's like.
Compare it to, I don't mean to keep taking it down the route of Celtic, but that's just relevant to us. But energy, look at it in the COVID season.
Aye.
And I mean, I'd rather forget about that, but that was an example of a negative energy seeping in and a lack of positive energy. Sometimes it's just that lack of positive vibe in it.
Yeah, and obviously I'm trying to build my own team for the future as well, and like I've got tons of experience, 44 fights, jiu-jitsu black belt. I've actually coached Paul in the UFC. I've coached my mate in Australia a few weeks ago, so I'm starting to get a wee bit more used to being the main coach now. So, and if I can pass my stuff on to the younger guys coming through, and that, I think we've got a good thing here. There's a couple of pro fighters coming up as well that have got fights in Cage Warriors, so it's all ticking over. They've got a grappling team competing soon, so everybody's just singing off the same hymn sheet, and we're all pulling in the same direction.
You've been around the world. You just mentioned Australia. I spent a lot of time in America, and there's a couple of things I want to ask you about when you're in America, especially the driving. That's my favourite thing. Just get in the car and just head somewhere, like no plan.
Just fire your tunes on.
And you find these wee pockets of places that otherwise you would never go, because like, let's just say if I was to Rome, Milan, right, so we go to Glasgow airport and they decide and then they let you off the plane, you're kind of waiting, but just that going your own way.
Aye, I love it.
So for somebody that's been so many places, do all roads just kind of lead back to home, because we're like a stone's throw away from like where you grew up?
Aye, 100%. I always thought in my mind I would maybe move to California if I was moving anywhere. I love it. I love America, but California really hits home, and it's so big anyway. But LA, California, like I love travelling. I love jumping in a car, putting my music on. As you say, it's just the wee pockets you find in the back half area.
What tunes are going on?
Oh, that's a good question.
Bad Moon Rising?
No, that's just my fighting tune.
Actually, end up
if that comes on when we're sparring and that comes on, people don't want to go on. Because that's like that's focused one. That's switch on. I don't know, man. Just Hunters, Arctic Monkeys, Oasis, DMAs, Bob Dylan,
DMAs.
The Snuts, just all my favourite bands. But I've got a weird. I can be up here with AC/DC, and then I can be down with like Neil Young and stuff like that. It's like so.
Same here.
But like I can't sing, right? But I'll belt it out, man. I don't give a fuck. I'll be the wind is down. I'll be singing, driving down the motorway in America, like just myself. It makes me happy. I can't sing, but it's like I love travelling. But I think just Scotland, the Holytown area. I have moved to Shotts now, where the gym is right beside it anyway. That is home for me. I still drink in my same local. I still do the same walks every day. It's the same shit. And that is home. That's the town that brought me up. The people that brought me up and made me who I'm at. Show me value in life and people I can trust in that. So I think that's why I'm always trying to help the community, maybe building a gym for the community. I run shows, I try and help with as much charity work as I can. I'm no saint, but like I know I'm a good guy, and I can help anybody that's needing it. You know what I mean?
Talking about finding any wee pockets at random places, where's your standout memories in America? Was it getting a gun in your chest? That was in Rio.
That was in Rio.
I had a slightly similar story in Rio.
In Rio?
Went
it's
up,
fucking bonkers.
It's, mate, it's amazing. I've been twice. Went up to Christ the Redeemer, and we had a tour guide. And he had a Range Rover, and he was parked, I don't know if you remember, in the car park.
It's up the top of the hill.
So he's like in this back, and you have to wait to get out, and we came down, and this guy was like pure Brazilian, pure tanned and all that. He was like, honestly, he was as white as that when we came back, and he'd been held at gunpoint, and the only reason his car never got taken is because they couldn't get out in time before police came, so they took the car.
That was a way up the top of it as well.
Took the car in
pure tourist spot.
Mental.
Mental, man.
What was yours? You went in the wrong favela?
I went to the
They don't piss about, don't they?
No. So the police don't actually go into the favelas, they sit in the boat, they don't go in. So I run like a movie location page, and honestly this page has got to get me killed one day. I've got like a million stories, but I'll just tell you the Rio one. So I was going to, I think it's called Clara Maria or something, Clara Marta, this favela that I was going to. There's a statue of Michael Jackson at the top of it. So Michael Jackson filmed the song They Don't Really Care About Us, and he's going up the steps and all that, right? So we were fighting in the UFC, so we were at the hotel. So I don't know how, but I knew a guy who was a rapper that stayed in one of the favelas, right? He picks me up my motorbike. I didn't tell the team though, because we weren't allowed to leave. Right? Oh, really? So I jumped in the back of this motorbike. He's pinning it on the motorway, and I swear to God, for the first time in my life, like, I don't even mind saying it, like, I was scared that I shut my eyes, man. Just because he was going in and out. I was holding on to this guy that I didn't even know, and I just shut my eyes because I was like, I could die here, man. And it was just like, it was like the most wimpiest thing I've ever done. I was like, I'm just got to shut my eyes here. So anyway, we get to the top of this favela. I end up having a tour guide for the other one, for the dodgy one. So he's like, don't take photos. I'll give you the green light. The train thing that takes you to the top was broke, so we had to walk through all the wee stairs and all that. So I seen the stairs where Michael Jackson actually danced, right? There was Fast and the Furious was filmed there as well. So I just took the phone out to the exact steps, because my tour guide was a wee bit in front of me, and I took a photo. But as I took the photo, this guy came out a side door, man, just like I took it.
Have you still got the photo?
I have, because so he's like, he just goes mental, photo, you take photo. He was a drug dealer, right? But he's like, erase. So I erased it, but it went to the
recently deleted.
So I still got it, so I still see the guy coming out the door. So he goes mental. The tour guide runs down, he's got like a wee laminate. No, we're going here, blah, blah, blah. I show him I delete it, erase it, so I keep going up, right? We get kind of near the top, and I was like, there's 10 guys just with like AKs and M16s just looking at me, and I was like, pure Scottish, like, oh, how you doing, man, alright, like, what's happening? But I was sweating, man, it was roasting, and they're just, whatever. So we go to the statue, right, we take a photo, there was a gun hanging on the statue, and I bought a wee t-shirt off a woman at the side. She was in the actual music video, she plays the music video, she's like, yeah, I'm Michael Jackson. I was like, here's a t-shirt then, it was like $10 or whatever. I'm like, I'll give back to the favela, you know what I mean? I turned round, man, and they were all just storming guns, just like, one pointed at right in my chest. He's like, what are you doing? I'm just like, statue, like the guys with the laminates, like, no, blah, blah, like showing his wee credentials type thing. And I'm like, make your money now, mate, make your money, because I didn't know what was happening. And he's like, it's okay, but they were still pointing the two guns at me. One guy had two guns there, and like a gun here. And they're all laughing. They're just laughing at me. I'm like, cunts are just playing with me. And they're like, there is a new president, like, you wait here. So he didn't have permission for me to be in there, because there was a new guy owning it. So I'm waiting for ages, I'm sweating, and I've got this t-shirt. I'm like, but
have you got a flag?
I even bought a t-shirt after the woman, not me, trying to put something back in, that. And they're just like, it's okay. And then I was like, on you go, they let us go. We go back down where I took the picture of the boy, and there was this fat guy standing with a gun and all, sweating. He was sweating. He's like, wait. And I was like, I've just been fucking stopped up there for about half an hour. He's like, no, you wait here. You take photos. I was like, I deleted it, no. Blah, blah, blah. Eventually lets me go. I jump in my motor, and the taxi driver, the guy, my tour guide told the taxi driver, like, what happened, Brazilian, Portuguese, whatever. And the guy just turns in, Brazil, eh? And just drives away, and I'm just lying in the back. Lying back, white as a ghost, man. Phoning people, you just not going to believe what just happened there. That was one of the funny stories. Well, all in my mind was thinking, if I survive this has got to be a funny story, man. That's what I was thinking. This has got to be funny.
That's the type of thing I would crumble, I think.
Aye. No, I thought it was done.
Aye.
Like,
coming down. I would have then got out and I'd have been like, you lot shit yourselves. Sorry, I'm in your favela. Should we take a wee walk through and see the strength side of the gym as well?
Of course, man. One area that the fighters really need, especially this thing, this is the death. All MMA fighters fucking hate it. They'll do like 30-second bursts off, and then maybe jump at slam balls and back on. So one thing you do need to do if you don't do track work for your fights is this. So all fighters need to sprint, and that is the worst thing I hate. Even at school, I wasn't a sprinter. I was maybe a long distance guy. 100 metres was no my bag, but 800 metres I could nail, or the bleak test, something like that. So if I'm doing track work on Friday mornings, we'll change it up for like your rest time. And if I don't do track work, I'll do this. But the boys, this just makes you sick because you're using your arms and your legs, and it's mere a full body, basically. You know what I mean? But
forgetting as well, because you're saying about like you need to do your fitness work and your sprinting and all that, because there's everything that goes into it, and then it's like you need to be essentially like an Olympic athlete in terms of being a runner.
So there's a lot of people that come and go with the strength and conditioning side of it for an MMA fighter, but it's definitely vital. You need to be conditioned to go pros 3-5 minutes, amateurs 3 minutes. You need to be conditioned. You can have all the skill set in there, but if you're not conditioned and fit enough to go that, then you've got to blow out or gas out in the first round. Or a world title fight would be 5-5, so you're fighting for 25 minutes with your minute breaks. Your body needs to be at peak level for that condition. But same idea, just you've got kettlebells, dumbbells, you've got plates, you've got like safety bars, traditional bars, trap bars, band work, battle ropes. Aye. So you can use this, you can put the bar into there, you can do like landmine throws. Like that.
I've just noticed here factory weights.
Yep.
Have you done it? So I did something with them a while back. Like here, one of the worst things I've ever done.
I've not done it, but they are my guys. I would always get after them.
Shout out to factory weights.
Yeah.
I had I was asked to go down and do a PR thing. It was a launch, right? It was kind of like High Rocks.
And the wee gym bit.
And also it was at the SEC, and they were like a sponsor of this thing. I think it was called, I can't remember the name, Proving Grounds or something. So I've turned up thinking, we're just getting a picture. So I had a coffee and a banana, and then they're like, right, you need to go first, right? So, and it's pretty much a High Rocks workout, and I was like, aye, very good. And they're like, no, you need to go.
Coffee, right?
Horrendous. It was brutal, and the guy was doing it, he's like, mate, I can't do it anymore. But the woman wouldn't let us pass on until we'd done them. So I was like doing his burpees. I'm like, you're a fucking arsehole. It was horrendous. So every time I see that factory weights, I want to burst into tears. I'm really interested in obviously media side of stuff. See the documentary when that came about, 2019, the BBC Scotland one. Did somebody just come to you and say we'd like to do this feature on you?
So people had done a documentary before that, and it was students.
The Hit Squad one? It was on the Hit Squad YouTube channel?
It was students from Stirling University.
Right.
So they came and they filmed kind of something similar, and it was a fight I was fighting in Edinburgh. I was fighting a Brazilian, and then I think the BBC had seen it, and then like we would like to fund that and do a more up-to-date version. And it, just funny enough, at the time I just signed with Bellator, and I had the fight on Channel 5 in Newcastle Metro Arena. So it was just perfect. But I used to train in Dublin, and they flew on and shot some stuff in Dublin, and it couldn't have went any better, to be fair. The documentary was like...
It reflected well on you.
Especially with the opponent was like 2-weight world champion, and that I thought was going to lose. I was getting brought in to get beat, and so the doubt was there that I was going to lose, and I always regret. They wanted to set up cameras and watch it with my papa in my papa's house to see a live reaction from him. And because I thought I was going to lose, I said no.
Oh no.
And now that I won, it was just like, if I had that footage, I would be like, I'd take that to my grave, you know what I mean? So that's the only regret, but that's what doubt done to me. Doubt, and like Big Denzel says, doubt kills, you know what I mean? But that doubt also kind of made me train hard for that fight, because I thought I was going to lose, and I wanted to really put a performance on and try and beat this guy that I thought was kind of out my league. And 2 minutes in, like the blue gloves are there, like it's like fucking he's done, and it's just like, that wasn't that bad.
I know, it just kind of shows, the doubt kills thing, but it just shows as well, it's kind of like, it's such another cliche for me, but train as if you're number 2 in order to be number 1. If you're have to thinking, like, how can I minimise this sort of defeat and just give everything?
Because I'm brutally honest with myself sometimes, like with my performances, or if, I don't mind saying somebody's better than me. That's all right with me. I'm never like, I'm number 1. Mindset is everything, and visualisation, and you need to be confident in certain areas. But I'm good with saying somebody's technically better than me, or like nobody's tougher than me, I don't think. But like technical, like people can catch me in a submission. They could be a cleaner striker than me. And that's alright, that's life. You know what I mean?
As long as they don't outwork you.
Aye, that's it.
In preparation.
And just try and not let them break you, man. And I don't break for nobody, you know what I mean? So I've got my word in my balls. That's all I've got in my life, man.
So obviously a lot of interest in you as well, and people want to speak to you. Do you enjoy being on camera?
I do like it. But tip to yourself, like, they need to be a good interviewer. Like, you're asking really good questions today. Quite refreshing. I don't like the same shit, the same, like, watch my interviews. If you're watching all my interviews and you're seeing the same questions getting asked me, don't ask me the questions. You know what I mean?
Repetition.
And I like people that give people time to like speak and like no interrupt them and let them speak about things. And as long as they're a good interviewer, and I'll always give them my time of day. And a lot of people have been asking through the years, but sometimes I'm too busy to do them, but I do enjoy going on podcasts. I've got my movie one now with Chris Toll and Stevie Podden and Keezy now. It's about films, surprise, Sin City. I did Leather podcast with Paul and Ross for a bit.
Somebody sent me that and was like, he said, that's really similar to Blether. And I went, first of all, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. I went, second of all, what the fuck do you want me to do? I'm like, phone him back here, you.
Totally different from yours.
Completely, and I was like, it's a great name, and I went, it's funny, and I went, but that's hilarious, and you think I'm going to fucking do it?
Very a Scottish thing. I didn't know that yours was called that, and I was just like, can we do it with the start of it?
Absolutely, it's
but
a great name.
I'm away. I left that podcast now, so I enjoy speaking as long as I can bounce off people, and like there's a connection there. See if it's like talking to a brick wall. Sometimes it's brutal. I can feed off you because you ask good questions, we get a laugh, and then it makes the interview fucking much better.
It's kind of one of my final points then. Gym's gone great. Long may it continue. Let's just say for one reason or another, you decided I want to move on. Would you combine your enjoyment for being on camera with your appreciation for California, Hollywood maybe? Talk me through that, a couple of wee appearances and some...
I would 100%. Well, I have done some acting, but there've been a lot of naked scenes.
Getting typecast.
Aye, that's it.
Let's go through them.
Run about.
Queen of the New Year,
Aye.
the BBC Scotland have done a special with Greg Hemphill and, would you play a paramedic? And Rob Florence.
I played, no, it was like a Taliban one, and I played a guy that the dog was basically shagging me. It was a COVID one, but as if I'd shat myself. So they put the dog treats. They put dog treats to my arse because they wanted. So the people were protesting, right? So it's like we more jobs and cutting down trees, and it was me at the end, like because it was COVID. There's that bog roll, but I had a dog, and I was like, as if I'd shat myself. But we put dog treats in my arse. So the dog had to jump up my arse as if he was sniffing my shit, right? But they put cardboard in there because the dog was clawing me, man.
What the hell?
And Greg Hempfield's like, pure exaggerate the pull and all that, and they're like, just like I watch Still Game every fucking day, man.
Same.
So just to have Greg like even
just directing you.
Aye, I was just like trying to fanboy out a bit. But
did you appear in Guilt?
I did.
Had the creator of that on the podcast, Neil Forsyth.
I was just a big henchman, like. We were at the Emirates Arena, at the back end of the Emirates Arena across the Celtic Park, and it was we doubled it as like an airport, the exit. And they came out the door and we kind of fuck them into the back of a van and all that. I just look mean mug, you know what I mean? Like, I could play a good game.
See when they're watching it, do people get in touch and go, have I just seen you?
Aye, they'll screenshot it and put it in a story. I done like a naked scene run about a prison, like chased a guy in
So that's Screw?
in the buff. That was fun because you've got a hundred cast members in a jail set, 3 floors. I strip off and I chase them all the way down the stairs, and everyone's gone mental. But you need to do that about a million takes, different angles, so the Bobby's fucking taut, you know what I mean? It's freezing. They're like, come on, man, come on, wake
Try
up.
to get some life into it.
So see, the funny thing is, the woman, the main star, she was in the bill, great actress. She stops me in my way because I'm losing it, and she just starts slagging the piece. Like, is it supposed to be that shape? Is it a way that curved to the side? And I'm just like, what do you mean? It's average, you know? Like, and that defuses me, and then I get pure straitjacket. So that was a good
goal to get.
It's funny because they're maybe the ones that get you there. Like, fuck, that scene was
100%.
funny, man. That can get you in the door here, or like another naked scene. But
Start somewhere.
Aye, I've done that, and I had other wee things, and I love acting. I don't think I'm a good actor, but I can tap into some anger stuff because I can easily get angry and shout at people, so I can tap into that. But I done like a short movie, and it was like it had a mere emotion in it. I was like a coach, and I could kind of tap into my career and that. So I think there is something there. I would just need a wee bit of guidance.
Aye, absolutely. I can imagine it going well, because if you're just applying the same sort of logic and application to everything, then it all kind of turns out the same.
Well, I've done a wee bit of pro wrestling, and that's basically similar. If you're cutting promos and you're talking a mic, the moves in pro wrestling are choreographed. They're so as well, but it is mainly running off a script, so it's kind of acting as well.
Just as we're kind of rounding up, I'm conscious of time and letting you go. It'd be remiss of me not to mention your papa. You kind of picked up on them earlier. I'm quite similar, like, so and that was one thing I think I probably really liked when I watched the show. Like, my grandpa's the closest person to me, kind of main male figure and all that. So you immediately like identify with. I mean, how proud was you of everything you did, and even everything you've continued to do now?
Even like that, as you said, that BBC documentary, like having that wee clip of him just even bonding and like making my omelettes and the wee He-Man line and all that, Skeletor to He-Man. I show my way in that, and she's like, is that your papa? And it's like, can bring tears to my eyes sometimes. And I think once they see me, like, I knew I fought, but I think once they see me fighting on telly, on national telly, he's like, maybe he's doing all right here.
Something like that.
And I remember, like, you maybe have seen a story where I told him I was pals with KT and
Celtic, former Celtic defender Kieran.
Who will be coming to this gym, by the way. I told him I was pals with him. My papa maybe no believe me, then I brought him to my papa's house one night, and my papa was like, I should have put a shirt on. And like, so stuff like that. And
that's a nice thing for him to do as well. I've seen that story.
Like,
because he's obviously getting pulled here, there and everywhere, but to take that time out.
He actually messaged me, WhatsApp me after he seen that. It's like, remember that day well and stuff like that. So,
love it.
So, I think my papa overall, especially the family we've got a bit of a mental family. Like, I think he would be proud of like what I've done, and my daughter. He didn't get the chance to see my daughter, and he would be proud of this, obviously. You know? So, nice
mate, you've done him, yourself, Scotland, everybody proud, mate. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
It's been a great chat. Enjoyed it, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.